Hi everyone, it's Shereen here at Early Childhood Parenting. I'm just doing a video on feeding to sleep and how to change the association. So I do a lot of live videos and answer a lot of sleep questions, and one repetitious question is, my 15-month-old, for example, is feeding to sleep and I want to break the association. How do I do that? So feeding to sleep is perfectly fine if it is something that you would like to do and it's working, okay? So it's only a problem if it's not working for you. So if you're reaching out to me for your help, I'm, assuming that it's actually not working for you anymore and you want to change this. So what you can do is actually encourage your child to independently self-settle and resettle gently without doing any cry-based methods at all, okay? So you can walk away from this without feeling guilty or feeling anxious or any, ill feelings, right? So the first thing that you want to do is have a nice solid wind down routine. So it's okay to incorporate your feet into your wind down routine, but you would do it first. So it might be that you take your little one into their room you've got your little light on and you breastfeed, then you have a cuddle, you might read a story, you put them in their sleeping bag, give them their dummy or their comforter if they have one, and then into the cot. And it's nice to have a little mantra such as, okay, it's sleepy time now, mummy loves you, good night. And then what you'll want to do is sit on like a pillow or something on the floor next to them, okay? You can put your hand through the cot rail and touch your child, like stroke the face or have a heavy hand on them or, stroke the hand. But we don't want to do any body rocking right now, right? So we're there for them entirely. You can even use your voice, okay? So it could be like you could go, shh, 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 it's okay, mummy's here. You can hum, you can sing. You can talk to them and acknowledge what they're feeling, right? So it could be, mummy's here, it's okay. I know you're sad, but I'm trying to help you sleep right now. And you're going to talk to them really calmly and really softly, right? You don't want to be constantly drilling in their ear, like, shh, it's okay, it's sleepy time, stop crying, it's okay, sleepy time, mummy's here. We want to do everything intermittently. And what you need to be watching for is your baby's response or your child's response. So if you are talking to them and your baby starts crying harder, you're overstimulating your child. If you're touching their face or you're touching their hand and they're pushing you away or they're trying to move away from you or they're rolling their head back and forth to get away, you're overstimulating. So we really need to be aware of their cues, right? If we are overstimulating, if we're involving ourselves too much, basically what we're doing is we are causing their crying, we're exacerbating it, and we're actually causing the crying period to go longer than what's necessary. So even though you may feel like it's much more comfortable for you to offer your voice and touch more so to soothe, it could potentially be causing more of a problem for your little one, right? So just tune in very carefully, and if you find that you are overstimulating your child, you just want to back off on the voice and touch, okay? If you've got a child that's under 8 months, you want to do this for a minute, and then after a minute, if your little one is still crying, you're picking up, giving a really boring cuddle, and like you can do a little bit of swaying or something, but it needs to be really boring and we're not bouncing or swaying or anything to calm them down, okay? You can continue to use your voice and touch as you go, but no vigorous bouncing or rocking, okay? If after 3 to 4 minutes, or if during the time you're holding your child, he or she is kicking the legs, arching the back, squirming, you're overstimulating them, you want to put them straight back down, okay? And continue to use your voice and touch to soothe. You can still continue to pick them up, but you won't want to do it every minute. You might want to wait an extra 5 minutes or so if you feel uncomfortable about the crying, if your one's on the younger side, like so around 4 months. So this, what I'm talking about now with the pick up, we're looking at only from 4 to 8 months of age, okay? Before 4 months, we're not doing any sort of sleep guidance at all. Like it's still perfectly fine to feed to sleep, okay? So before 4 months, we're not using this technique. After 4 months and 8 months, you can pick up and then put down, right? But again, if your child is upset by you picking them up, it's best to leave them in their cot as long as possible, and you should notice that their crying decreases, okay? If your little one's over 8 months, what you will want to do is not pick them up at all, but verbally encourage them to lay down. Pat the mattress. Come on, lay down. It's sleepy time. If they do lay down, we want to reward them very calmly without much excitement. But sorry, not thank you. But well done, good boy, good girl, whatever. you can, if they won't lay down on their own, you can stand up and physically lay them down. As I said, lay down, please. So we're telling them what we want them to do. So they're associating the words with the action, particularly if they're a little bit younger. And then after a minute of, verbally using your voice and touch to soothe, you're going to stand up and lay them down. Most of the time, kids hate this. They're going to kick their legs or cry harder. If they do this, do it 2 or 3 more times before canning it. Otherwise, you're going to continue to exacerbate the crying, and you're going to continue to allow the crying spell to continue. So at this point, lay them down 2 or 3 times and then can it. Just continue to use your voice and touch to soothe till the end. And you're going to do this until they are asleep, right? It can take a long time the first time, so be really persistent with it. And you'll use this technique every time they wake up and it's not a feed time. So you'd need to have a feed plan. Now that is very specific to each individual family and what your current feed plan is. So if you're doing like 4 feeds a night, don't just go cold turkey on this, right? It needs to be weaned off because feeding to sleep is a really strong association, okay? So what your night feeding plan would depend on what your current night feeding plan is and how old your child is and what solid intake's like and what their weight gain is like. But you would do this technique when they woke at night and it wasn't a feed time, and you do it all through the night if it wasn't a feed time. This can take a really strong strategy along your night feeding plan, and it can be quite daunting doing this on your own for the first time when you do have a feeding to sleep association. So this, it's really good to book in for some one-on-one help if you're able to. And you know what? We even have more gentle plans, so much, much more gentle. It's a graduated plan, but this is something that would need to be discussed during a one-on-one. So I hope my tip tonight for breaking or stopping the feeding to sleep association has been helpful. And if you'd like to book in for some one-on-one help, you can head over to the website, which is www.earlychildhoodparenting.com.au, and have a look at our sleep services. Okay, bye.